Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Swamp Talk. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Hoku.
Hi, everyone.
And today we are going through Swamp Thing, issues 14 through 24, which wraps up Volume 1. Man, this was crazy. What'd you think of this in comparison to the first 13, like this chunk?
I preferred the first 13. Yeah, I thought these were a bit more, I don't know, they followed the same formula, and then when they didn't, when we had those, a couple of two-parters, I was like, it's okay. I felt like the first dozen, really solidified the story as far as okay, we've got the origin, we've got, the monster going through random places, doing weird monstery things, and things happen to him, but then he gets out of it and he keeps going and he's just really sad the whole time. And this just felt like a repeat of that. But then also you throw in Matt and
Matt, Bolt, and Abby.
Yeah, every one of them just following him along and just being like, no, Alec, and he's sad, going away now. So
yeah, that was this one really had every issue ends with him walking away sadly. And also walking away from horrible circumstances that I'm like, you shouldn't walk away from that. There's children that are in danger.
Oh yeah, that felt very, so he has no parental instincts whatsoever, I guess. Not even that part of his humanity has stayed to where you're maybe I should help these kids beyond, where we have found ourselves, but also I'm sad and I kind of just want to go away.
Yeah, you could say that Alan Moore's version of Swamp Thing makes more sense with that because he's not a human. He's a plant that thinks he's a human, but he's too sad at the end of every issue to care about things.
Yeah. There's a bit more understanding with that. In this, it's you're supposed to literally be a person in sludge. So, you'd think you'd be hey, let me make sure these kids are safe. But, oh no, I have to keep walking away and being sad because that's what the story needs me to do. So,
yeah, he's not really a hero in these. It's I'll help you right now, but then I'm sure you'll figure it out, kid. He kind of does that at the there was one issue in the beginning of volume 2 that's kind of like that too. So, but yeah. So these 14 through 24 issues are the completion of volume 1, and I mean I think we can all understand why it got canceled by 24. It just didn't really have the legs. Although I did enjoy some of these single, stories. But besides the two little 2-part stories, it's all one shots. So we start off with issue 14, which I was all right, this one's kind of weird. It's about mutant kids in the swamp, and there's mutant ants, and the townsfolk hate them, and it's kind of weird, but it also felt familiar. Did you notice that this one kind of had a lot of different elements from previous comics that we did in the first 13 issues, kind of jammed into it all in one?
Well, it had the animals, right? The wrestling of the weird animals that I guess this was supposed to be the source.
Yeah, I guess it did solve that. I don't know if it was actually supposed to be the source, but yeah, there was the alligator that they wrestled, or that he wrestled in I don't know, issue 9, I think. But then there was also those worms that he fought with, and
I thought those worms were extraterrestrial.
They are, but I just mean
okay.
What I mean is they're taking elements from previous issues and kind of putting them all in this one. Because you got bugs, you got gators, freaky kids, bloodthirsty town folk, all of those things have kind of been touched on before. Did you feel like that when you read it, or did you feel like this was unique enough in its own?
I like Akira with bugs thrown into it.
Yes. Exactly.
Kept expecting someone to be like, Tetsuo!
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Or one of the children to start absorbing everybody in the town.
Right? like she didn't sacrifice herself in the fire. She absorbed the fire and then would just start growing, and then eventually Swamp Thing would have to defeat her somehow. But that is not what happened. They, I mean, yes, I was very sad that she sacrificed herself. And then, of course, the mayor being like, "You saved my son. Thank you." And the kid being like, "You're going to live with us now," like straight out of the end of the Goonies. And then it would be like the twist would be that, like, Chung's parents would be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, now, wait, who's living with what now?" I'm sure he'll be happy here on the beach by himself. He'll be fine. We're not bringing him into our home, even though he saved your life. Like, that is literally the reaction that the mayor had. And I was like, dude, seriously?
That was like one of the funniest endings of a comic. Like, I was just taken aback because also Swamp Thing's like, "I'll leave you with them. I'm sure you'll be fine." And then like he's walking away as the guy's like, "Whoa, you ain't staying with us, you fucking freak." Like,
We'll build you a special little house out here. And then, assuming once he's over the shock of his son getting rescued, he'll probably like, "Oh, I'm sure they'll be fine. They can build their own house. Let's just go back to our town and, let bygones be bygones." So I'm pretty sure that they either didn't build them, a house, or just eventually just like left and were like, "Yeah, you kids will be fine out here in the swamp. No big deal."
yeah. Did you I guess, you figured Swamp Thing would be a hero, but he doesn't hear that or he just doesn't care.
I don't think he cares. I think at this point he was just like, "Well, my job is done and I'm gonna go be sad over here now." So
And he does go be sad and go over there because he goes to in issue 15, he goes over and meets like a priest who, and this is one of my favorite issues of this whole like chunk, just because it's so like it's like my flock was like falling away from me, so I turned to what I knew, like what I could, which was of course witchcraft and like Satanism. And yeah, like this one with the crystal that floats, it's got like Nibiros in it and stuff. I liked this demon, this whole demon thing. But what do you think of this one?
very Constantine-esque. And actually, it did remind me of the Constantine movie as far as like the motivation to like, yeah, I'm going to bring up, in this case, a demon in the movie, like the son of Satan, and be like, you know what? Once y'all have been like thoroughly messed up, maybe then you'll realize God exists. And I just thought the similarities there to like the motivations of like, yeah, I'm going to summon a demon to help mankind. Like find the truth sounds totally like on the way to get on God's good side. You're like 100%.
Yeah, totally. Like I think he had a plan that he just wasn't thinking through all the problems. But I guess the main things that happened in this one is Luke dies. Luke is the old man from that episode, that issue where I think they rescued him from that ship of the alien ship with the worms, back in that where they found Bolt too. So Luke is just with them still. And I was like, did they just like leave this guy in the character set of this comic just to have him die? Like, is that what it felt like to you? Like, we need people to die.
Well, yeah, totally. I honestly forgot about Luke, and and then I was like, oh,
how could you forget about Luke?
Does he even have a last name? Does anyone know what Luke's last name was?
No.
No? Okay, then yes, definitely he was fodder. I honestly expected either him or Bolt or both of them to die, like, before they were able to solve all this, but I guess they decided to keep Bolt alive for a little while longer.
Bolt has a last name.
Ah, so he gets to live a little bit longer.
Yeah, this one, what do you think of this one, like, as a whole?
I do think it was also probably one of my favorites as well, given the overall Monster of the Week feel of this section. But of the Monster of the Week stories, this one was the most entertaining. I mean, crazy pastor, radical ideas. He was feeling like I am not respected as a pastor and my flock has fled, probably going, to some other church that's like cooler or more hip. Like, well, I'll tell you what's hip. Getting the demons come out. So
yeah. And also you get to see Swamp Thing fight a literal demon, which is pretty sick. Like that fight I thought looked pretty awesome.
It definitely seemed like it was somebody who could probably take him.
Yeah, like that actually had stakes in the fight, as opposed to most other things he fights. You're like, yeah, it's not that big of a problem for him, I wouldn't think. But um, another thing that happens in this is we get a little bit more of Abby Arcane's powers starting to come about. What are your thoughts on Abby with powers? Do you like her with powers or non?
I didn't really understand how or why they built this up like through the issues of like she's weird and now she's weirder. Um, isn't that interesting? And I'm like, I guess. I mean, I guess you just need a way for them to figure stuff out without figuring it out. So someone can just be like, I know how to solve this, break the orb. And then I know how to solve this, get that book. Like, okay, I guess you need psychic powers to figure that out or whatever she's got.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of, I don't know if you remember Team America, the like psychic lady in Team America. And she's like, I sense you're angry. And it's like, he's like yelling at her. And like,
Oh
like,
yeah, where she's just like empathetic, basically.
yeah, it's like, I guess you could assume, like, what else is going to be the thing that brings the demon out? There's a crystal that's speaking that is the demon. And then there's also the book that he called the demon with. So yeah, it's going to be one of those two or both that you have to like mess with.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to make her seem more useful because she's kind of just there to go like, oh, Alec, and oh, man, no, wait.
Yeah, it's Matt now. That's what Alec is later.
No, she does say that whenever he's wandering off, and she's like, no, Alec, come back.
That's true. That's true.
So that was basically her role, like in this, except they decided, oh, you know what? She can also go, oh, hey, break that thing, or oh, hey, go after that. So I don't know, maybe they were trying to make her be more part of the team and give her something interesting to do. I wish there was an explanation for why. That would have been nice to know why all of a sudden all this weirdness started happening.
Yeah, like maybe she fell in the chemicals or something, or like in the last issue or something happened. There's got to be a reasoning for it. I don't know what, but I think it was just,
or maybe her uncle experimented on her or something, like, or heck, even if she was just born with it and all this weird trauma stuff, like, brought it up in her in a moment of intense need. Like, it just give me one line that just says, and then the powers that have been dormant in Abby, because they literally explain everything that happens. Even when you see a picture of what's happening, they also explain exactly what's happening. And yet this, nothing, just, and then she's like, is able to break her bonds, or, just randomly she's either telekinetic or psychic or what, I don't know. But yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I think it's weird, like you said, because if they just explained like she's an arcane and everybody knows arcanes get powers at 28 or wherever the fuck she's supposed to be. And so like, you can just explain it like that.
Yeah, I would totally buy into that. Just tell me, and for no reason, they're able to follow a swamp thing. Totally believable. Why not? Makes sense. But at least you gave me a reason,
Exactly. Yeah. That's my feelings about it as well. I'm like, and maybe if they fleshed it out more and it made more sense, but as it is, it just feels like you said, like they're just trying to give her something to do other than be the damsel. I mean, she's still the damsel, but like, she can move things along because Matt is constantly also disabled usually, and then Swamp Thing has to save them. So if Swamp Thing's busy fighting, how are they going to get out? So, yeah, but I liked this issue a lot. I thought it was fun. It had the demon design is pretty cool and interesting too. So, then the next issue I thought was very 70s is issue 17, which is called The Night of the Warring Dead. And this one, it's like, zombies are a thing. Although these are voodoo zombies, so that's kind of been around in the zeitgeist for a bit, but zombies are a thing, and also skyjackings are prescient at this moment in the 70s, because that's when like a bunch of planes had gotten taken over by people around this time. So I don't know if you knew that in American history.
No, I had no idea that was a major thing.
Yeah, like I don't know if you know who DB Cooper is. Supposedly he stole a bunch of money and then
Oh yeah, that movie Without a Paddle talked about him. That
exactly,
was like the
yes.
main. That's the only reason I know about him is from that stupid movie, which I love. But yeah, that is how I learned about him.
Yeah, and I think this one is like there are things I like about it, and then there are things that are just like what, but like
I honestly thought it was kind of a dick move for him to be like, zombies are not cool. Not gonna let you do that. I'm like, wait, when did you become the anti-zombie guy or like the anti-people fighting back against, tyranny guy?
yeah, because like in this he's basically not the hero. He like stops a rebellion because they raised zombies to help them fight the power, and then he's like no, and he like smashes the crystal of the priestess lady. I think the best thing about this issue is the priestess lady who is
Who is prominent on the cover as well.
yeah, she's very well garbed in a scantily way. And I was like, yes, that is how all priestesses dress, in my mind, at least.
Me personally, I kind of wish her right hand guy had also been like dressed in similar priestly garbs.
I agree. Go for it, tit for tat, as they say. But yeah, this was such a weird one. I'm like, this is like the least heroic he's ever been. He like is literally like, I will help you. And then when he sees that, and like he's also seeing that like the people are getting mowed down and stuff, right? Like it's not like he doesn't see what they're going through and their plight. But then, and he's been told everything. And then when he sees the zombies are attacking people with like because of the freedom fighters, he's like no, and then him killing the zombies makes everybody, all the freedom fighters get killed. So it's like, but so now everybody's in this dictatorship. And then he just walks off like, well, job well done, Swamp Thing. And he even hears the shots, so he knows what happened.
Oh yeah, this was. I guess this is probably the most out of character episode for him because normally, at least, he's on the side of the underdog or the person who is fighting against what you would assume is the wrong side. But in this, like, the only way I could have seen this been justified is if the zombies, because if you wanted to say, dark magic is bad, even if it's used for good, if the zombies were attacking, say, their brethren, and like, so they're attacking the soldiers and the freedom fighters, or, they were coming back against the priestess, or, just generally running amok in a way where it's like, oh, they're zombies, you can't actually control them, they're just going to attack everyone. Then he could be like, this is wrong. And then crush the amulet. And then, sure, a lot of people got hurt and stuff, but at least he was like trying to protect people in that way. But instead it's just like, I don't like zombies, crush. Bye. Job well done. Pat on back, Swamp Thing. Good job. You saved people from the zombies, because zombies, that's just unnatural.
Yeah, this one is definitely, it stands out amongst these issues as like, huh, all right. And also it's kind of like a weird, like if I was a child, these are for children, they still have a comics code stamp on them. So if you were like 7-year-old Matt going to the store to buy comics, and you see this, and of course I'm going to buy this one because the lady's on the front scantily clad,
Of course.
and I flip it open as I, I'm reading it, and I'm like, oh, the message is like zombies are worse than revolution or whatever, or like revolution is not worth risking your life for, or whatever. I don't know. Like,
it doesn't really seem to have a message, because even at the end when the soldier is like, come on, like, we can still get out of here, she's like, I'm so tired, I'm done, someone else can avenge us. And he's just like, well then fine, I guess I also give up, because who cares anymore. And Swamp Thing's just like, oh no, I guess they didn't decide to come with me, that's a shame. Well, gonna wander off here and be sad some more.
yeah, so you just hear 2 gunshots.
I guess they chose to stay behind.
I will say the next issue, issue 17, is the one I think that is like if this one had kind of been issue 14 and it set the tone for the rest of it, it could have been a fun thing. Like the previous issues built up to this one a little bit better and like had more to tie into it. But this one is the return of Nathan Ellery, the head of the Conclave. And we thought he died in issue 7, but he did not. He somehow survived a like skyscraper fall, but not without being damaged. He is paralyzed and is in a wheelchair, but still just as menacing. So, what do you think of the return of Nathan Ellery?
I didn't expect it, to be honest. I was like, who is this guy? And I was like, oh, is that guy? Oh, well, I guess they have a ton of money to be able to save someone from pancaking.
Yeah, I mean, he's like basically in an iron lung that has wheels.
Yeah, it must have cost all the hundreds of millions of dollars that they have with the technology they have.
Yeah, and I just think that one is funny. Like his plan is like he's somehow got a doctor to help him and the doctor's so naive. He's like, Nathan is gonna like be the champion of the world. He's gonna stop environmental disasters and war. He seems like a great guy, and it's like he's still as evil as he ever was. You know, he's still saying all the things he was saying before. He's like, I'm going to take over, and he's like, yes, like in a peaceful way. Like I thought it was funny the way the doctor is so naive. But what'd you think? What'd you think of that doctor?
Yeah, that poor doctor. He definitely put his eggs in the wrong basket with that guy. I also think it's so funny when it's a character who's just like, I put all my faith and trust in the guy who will save us, and the guy who quote unquote will save us is like, I can't wait to rule the world with an iron fist. And then, the one behind them are like, yes, you are definitely the person who will save us and be fair and generous and, protect us. And that person just like, haha, I can't wait to be in charge, and all of you will pay for everything that's ever happened to me. And they're like, yay, this guy totally sounds like the right guy to be in charge. And not to mention the idea that they're like, so everyone who's smart or who has the idea of being in charge or being a leader, we're going to make them dumb. We're going to make them betas, basically. All these alphas, except in this room, will become betas all over the world, and then I will be the only alpha left.
It's not a bad plan. Not a bad plan. It's kind of like Idiocracy. If everybody's dumb and you have a basic education, you are the smartest man in the world.
Yeah, I I think that was an amazing plan. Definitely unexpected. But how can you if someone else out there is as smart, or how do you know they're not also in some sort of like bunker to protect themselves, and then it's you versus the other last smartest or strongest man alive?
Well, but he's got the Conclave, so it doesn't matter. I'm assuming the Conclave is also in a bunker.
Yeah, what about them? Like, because he said everyone outside of this room, will be stupefied. So what about everybody else in the Conclave? Like, they didn't really mention if they were also going to be safe.
They did not mention that, but we can assume the Conclave is safe. I mean, he's not going to do this behind their back, probably, right? Maybe he's planning a power grab.
Yeah, I mean, it totally seemed like what he was doing, where he's just like, me and this scientist, we're going to like shift the entire world to being idiots. He didn't say anything about like me and this scientist and the Conclave are going to like rule the world. It was all just like, it's me. I'm going to be the top dog. Fuck everybody else.
That is true. I mean, maybe that was his plan, but unfortunately, his plan was thwarted as he is electrocuted to death. Which is like one of the, like, just the way that it happens is, I don't know, it made me laugh when I first read it. I was like, Jesus. Like, he's just like, no, please, I can't move. Like, just electrocuted to death in his wheelchair. It's pretty hard way to go. But yeah, do you think he will return from this one since he returned from pancaking?
I don't know. I don't know if he's as returnable as like, say, Arcane or something. It doesn't seem like
That's true.
I can get fixing someone's broken body. I don't think I can see fixing someone's charred corpse.
Unless they Frankenstein him, like if Arcane came back and brought him back.
That's true. I mean, maybe his brain survived, and didn't get roasted like a marshmallow inside his head.
He's just a brain in a jar commanding things. Yeah, that might be cool.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that working in a Swamp Thing comic from the 70s.
Totally. You thought you had beaten me, but I came back.
Yeah, exactly. You see Bubbles. That's when he's talking with Bubbles. But one of my favorite things about this issue is the Robo Dogs or the Robo Wolves. And specifically as the scientist guy is going to die from them. And again, Swamp Thing's just like, well, see ya. And they leave the scientist to be like, guys. And then the wolves just close in on him. I was like, Jesus, he's going to get torn apart by Robo Wolves.
I don't know. Maybe he had a kill switch.
Maybe, but I think he screams out. Like, they don't show it, but you hear the screams of him.
Oh, well, maybe he screamed because he was like, I turned you off.
Yeah, that's it. That must be
just in time. Phew.
Maybe. Yeah, you would think he was the guy who made him, right? Probably, so.
Right. So maybe he's got, like, a command that only he can use to shut them off. Maybe screaming was the command to shut them off.
Turns out there is a safe word. It's sit. Or stay.
Is it? Yeah, don't eat me.
Yeah. My intestines. That's a great code word. And then also, like, they don't need to eat. They're just fucking robot dogs, so they're just literally tearing apart for funsies at this point. And then imagine, like, they should have had, like, go back to the island, like, 20 years later, and there's just killer robots roaming, like, they figured out a way to breed or something. You could do some crazy stuff if this continued. Unfortunately, it did not continue, but I would have done that. I would have had some crazy episodes or issues.
Add it to your list.
Yeah, there you go. Like my bootleg Swamp Thing. That's a good idea.
Add it to your what ifs, your own what ifs. Yeah.
I like it. Then we get, this is one of the weirdest ones to me. We get issue 18, which is the one with the old people in the village that are trying to find youth or whatever and stealing people's youth. What do you think of this one? It's literally like, I don't know, like it's creepy seeing the old people in the art with the baby like stuff. I don't know. It's creepy.
Yeah, it was a weird one. I think there was a Doctor Who episode during, was it 11th run, I think, where there was like a village of old people who also, although I think they touched someone, they just kind of disintegrated, so not exactly the same, but the creepy old people aesthetic, I doubt they took that from this, but it seems like, yeah, the creepy old people aesthetic is something that creeps us all out until we get old, and then we're like, stop making stuff about old creepy people.
Is 11 Eccleston or is that Tennant?
10 is 10, Eccleston's 9, Matt Smith is 11.
Matt Smith, okay. Yeah, I don't know any of those ones.
Anyway, creepy old people. Yeah, the fact that it was like his son, the main guy's son had just been like, we're going to put these people in an old folks home, or was it just his parents that he put there and then other old people just happened to be there too, I think it's for everybody, like it's an old folks community. Okay, so he put his parents in the old folks home, and the people are like, you know what, we're gonna treat you like little babies. Look at these little babies. Oh, don't you feel safe and happy being treated like little babies? And they're like, fuck you. I fought in World War One, you son of a bitch. I killed so many Germans. You stick a rattle at me. Yeah, the fact that is like the age, right? Like this is the 70s, so 75. So if you go back to like 1915, like World War One is starting in Europe. That's about right. Like the people that are in this old folk home are the people that went through World War One.
I would be so pissed if I was like a veteran or whatever of that, and I like fought people in trenches and shit, and then they're like, "Here's a rattle, you old fuck."
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between, say babying someone who has an actual condition in which they are, infantilized, but just treating old people like babies, like, yeah, that, I kind of understand their point of view of like, you know what? Turning to the dark arts to fix this.
Yeah, I do agree. That is a time when, hey, we're old, we have no other resources, our people left us. You know who's always there to help? Satan. All right, Satan's there to help, and if you can find one of his books that are lying around the earth, you can call up and he'll help you. So, but this is also, I noticed, like the third time I think in the series that black magic is used by someone in a daring gambit of like, when they're in despair or whatever. Do you think this gets overused a bit? This trope?
They might have been scraping the barrel a little bit.
I was definitely like, okay, like another demon calling, and we just had one with Nibiros, so like it's only 2 issues later we have another one. So, and then there's that one. There's a couple I think in the first 13 issues too. There's at least one. The one where like the city or like the mining people call up Miningala or whatever that thing is named, and they like.
Oh, I did love that one, but that one was more of like a cosmic entity as opposed to a straight up demon. That's the way I saw it anyway. But yeah, two demonic entities within only a couple issues of each other does seem like they were running out of ideas a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. But I think this one is fun just because it is like, it's interesting to see a town of old people that is like, it looks like it's a small world or something that they're all in, like it's everything's happy, like, and they're like, man, I hate this. And then like they're trying to attack Swamp Thing. So just the fact that they had to draw Swamp Thing punching like an old lady in the face or whatever, like it just makes me laugh that they did that.
Yeah, that was a bit like, and I kind of liked how he was like, I don't want to hurt old people, but they won't stop attacking me. So, gotta get them off me somehow.
Sit down, Grandpa. Yeah. Yeah, so that one is more like silly, funny, but also it's okay. It's whatever. I just think it's fun because it is so like the artist or like the story makes the art have to draw some weird things, But then we get my least favorite story of this thing, which is a two-part arc about Swamp Thing having a doppelganger. I do appreciate that they go back and like use old lore, from the beginning of the series where his arm gets cut off and it grows back as a mindless Swamp Thing. What'd you think of that?
I'm also going to make another Doctor Who reference.
Okay, go for it.
This time it was 10, so David Tennant. He lost his hand in a fight when he was first transformed from Eccleston, and then they kept his hand in like a jar, and then they used that hand to then eventually create a second version of him. So again, I don't know if the creators like read this issue or in any way referenced that, but it just seems funny that is sort of a repeated idea of like a lost limb then turning into another version of the same character. Although in that version, he was just like, I think he was like half human, half Time Lord. In this version, Swamp Thing number 2 is just kind of like a mindless creature that wanders around and is sad but doesn't know why.
Yeah. I kind of like the concept of that part at least, but the rest of the setup is definitely like, I could give a fuck about what's happening in this. There's a kid, and there's a Native American, there's like bikers and a bar, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? And then also one of the worst covers, I think, is the first one of this, which is issue 19, where Swamp Thing is lifting a dozer above his head, and as he's doing that, like the shadows are hitting him a certain way, and you can see his shadowed butt cheeks, which is not flattering at all for Swamp Thing. I'm like, come on.
I did notice the shadowed cheeks.
Yes.
I was like, oh, swamp cheeks. That's a statement.
It looks like he has like, you know, the meme of the frog that's got like a frog butt. I don't know.
Yeah.
My wife always sends me that. That's what it looks like. I'm like, come on. You did Swamp Thing dirty on those cheeks. You know you did.
That's what the kids want. They want some flat swamp cheeks.
Yes. Slightly saggy swamp cheeks. Okay. Yeah, but then it's followed up by one of the best covers, which is Swamp Thing fighting his doppelganger in front of a big full moon. So I'm like, that's also like, it's hard for me to fault those two cover, or like the first cover, because the second one's great.
Right? The contrast of it is so ridiculous. Because they actually have, I think, some good cheeks in that cover.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good, strong, muscular cheeks, you know.
Strong, manly cheeks.
Exactly.
Or swampy. Like manly swamp cheeks, not flat, froggy cheeks.
Yes, exactly. That's what you want. You want good cheeks. So, but I mean, you know my thoughts on this. I hated this story. What do you think of these two issues?
I mean, I think they were trying to do too much, even though they spread it out over 2 episodes. I mean, you've got the casual parent beating his child. You've got, Native American lore and kill the white man. And then you've got, random bulldozing destruction for some company or whatever. And then, of course, you've got everybody looking for Swamp Thing again. So it's like there was just a lot going on. I feel like if they'd cut just one of those storylines to streamline it a little bit, probably would have made it more cohesive and not feel so jumbled.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about it, but these ones just felt like took forever to get through, recording and stuff. I was like, is this done already? No. And all these are like 17 pages or whatever. So it should be way easier to get through these than, later episodes I've recorded. But no, these took forever, and specifically these two. So, and then the Native American dies at the end in a very like shit way too. Like they just like throw him on the ground and he falls and he hits his head.
Yeah, he's really like smack, crack, he did. And then like it doesn't seem like anything really happens because of that. It's just like, oh, you killed that guy. Well, I guess that's all. Wanton destruction of his like holy place with the spring, and then he dies for no reason. And oh, dude, what I thought was the funniest thing though that actually made me laugh when I was listening was when Matt and Bolt go to take the kid, or go to follow the kid because the kid's going to take him to where he saw the swamp monster and to the Native American guy. And then afterwards,
the grotto of youth.
No. So when the kid leads him out there, and the guy's like, "No, I didn't see no monster. I don't know what you're talking about." And they're like, "Well, that's a dead end."
Oh, yes.
And they're like, "Come on, let's go back to town." The kid's like, "No, I'm going to stay here." And they're like, sounds totally reasonable. Like, we only just took you from your father, and now we're just going to leave you in a swamp. But hey, you're 5. You can take care of yourself. Like, just be home before your dad gets worried. And then they just leave. Like, dude, does nobody here actually, like, care about children?
They leave him with an adult that they don't know.
That they don't know in a place that is... how's this kid supposed to find it? But yeah, it just seems like, I guess...
in a secluded swamp. Yeah, it's...
You know what? Alec not being very, like, parentally... It seems like everyone here is parentally challenged, honestly. Like, nobody really cares. They're just like, hey, kid, lead us to the monster. Oh, well, you're a dead end, so, go on off, and hopefully you don't die out here. So I was like, what?
Yeah, it's the 70s. They didn't care about kids back
leave
then.
him? I mean, I get latchkey kids and all, but damn, that was cold.
Yeah, it seems like no one cares about this kid. So he is kind of annoying, but that's okay.
I also think it's so interesting that the guy adopted him essentially, but isn't actually. Like, he's mostly just like, hey kid, let's talk about some fun stories, and also I'm going to leave you with like all of this, i.e. my magic fountain. but I don't actually want to adopt you or anything. I just want to tell you stories and then let you go back to your shitty life.
Well, I don't think he can legally adopt him because he has a dad, and I don't think in the 70s everyone would be like, he's just getting disciplined if he gets hit or whatever, you know? So,
I mean, if I were that kid, I'd be like, let me stay here. How's my dad supposed to find me? He'll never find me. You live in the swamp. Like, I'd rather do that than go back to my crappy home.
but they talked about him like visiting the Native American. So they're like, he's with that redskin or whatever they would say back then. And, you know,
Yeah, but they don't know where the fountain is. And why not just camp out there?
well, you know, there's holes in it, but no less holes than there already are in the story. So,
But then, right after he dies, and then all of a sudden they kill the doppelganger for no reason, just to provide yet another scapegoat for Swamp Thing to be like, well, I don't know what went on here, but I'm going to go be sad somewhere else now.
well, this one's important. It's so he can finally so the writer can not have to write fucking Bolt and Abby and, you know, Matt to do something in this. So because of that, he gets to go to space in the next issue. So issue 21, Swamp in Space.
Oh, man.
I love this issue. This one is so wacky and like, what the fuck? But it starts off, first page, you're on a spaceship. It's like, what? Like, you're in space. There's like a guy who's a collector of rare beings, and he kidnaps Swamp Thing. And then Swamp Thing has to lead a rebellion with the other captives and against this guy named Solus. So what do you think of Solus as a bad guy?
Yeah, that was a weird issue. His design was interesting.
Yeah, he reminded me of Xerxes in 300.
I would say, yeah, Xerxes or Killmonger from the movie of Black Panther, although his were scars, but that same sort of the droplets that look like that are all over him. Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, I also think he's kind of the worst bad guy we've had so far. Like, everybody else is like, in the future, I will do something to someone with this magic or whatever. But in this, he's got like some of the captives, or specifically one of them is his sex slave, and he's like, it's pretty explicit where he's like, come wench, like, we will go to my room and do what we always do, which is rape you. Like I was like, Jesus, this is pretty intense for a kid's comic. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, that was, I mean, they definitely made him irredeemable as far as, there's really no good things about this guy. My favorite line of his was where he's just like, I wanted to be in charge, but my brother was born first. So I killed him so I could save my planet from him. And they responded by kicking me out. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, dude, that's some serious mental gymnastics to get to that of I killed my brother. Why aren't they thanking me and worshiping me? Because I am, literally the best guy ever. And everyone else is like, you're a psycho, man. Get out of here.
Yeah, this guy has no self-reflection at all. Like, he's just full narcissist. Like, obviously I'm awesome. That's a given. So everyone else is wrong.
Yeah, absolute worst.
This one makes me laugh, but it also has those super heavy topics with the girl. So the girl that he has as a sex slave also dances herself to death, which that is a pretty fucked up way to go.
Yeah, that's some grim fairy tale level shit right there.
And then, but he does, the way he dies is one of my favorite ways to die, next to Nathan Ellery probably. But this one, he makes sure he says, if I ever touch the ground again, my gems that adorn my body are actually mines that will blow up if they sensed Earth or whatever. And so I guess he never touched Swamp Thing before, but as he's trying to hold on to the ship at the end and the captives have taken over and he's about to fall into space, he takes Swamp Thing's hand and then tries to betray him, but all of a sudden his little minds start beeping, and then Swamp Thing's like, see ya, and he's just gets blown out into space. So I don't know. Would you like? Did you think that was as fun as I did, or am I just crazy?
Oh yeah, I thought that was great. I didn't make the connection. I thought maybe they were gonna somehow like fling him onto a planet and then leave him there to blow up on the planet. I because they kept saying ground, ground or earth. And so when he grabs something's hand and then it's like boop boop and it's like I am made of like earth technically because I'm also grass and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, that's good. That was good. Good little twist there.
Yeah, it was like it was hidden enough because he said ground, and you think like dirt, not plants necessarily. But
I wasn't thinking fauna, so I'm glad that they were able to figure out that little way to make Swamp Thing kill a guy without having to actually kill him, technically.
yeah, then Swamp Thing returns to Earth somehow. I guess there's a machine or whatever that does it, and he ends up in the middle of the desert. And then issue 22 takes place because he gets captured by some people who think he's got some weird disease, and he gets brought to a bunker where they're keeping all these other people who have been infected with this disease. It was a weird one. I thought this was like a kind of fucked up one too.
Very beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Yes, very much so. And this is about that time. I bet Planet Beneath was already out. So, yeah, this disease, mutates people and stuff. Kills. I don't remember what the exact how it kills you, but yeah, it
how it killed them or how they kill other people because they have it.
Both. How does it kill them?
I don't think it killed them. I think it mutated them and then slowly rotted their brains until either they turned into vegetables or maybe ended up killing themselves. That's the way I kind of saw it. Not like it physically deformed them, but also I guess slowly mentally messed them up. And then I felt like either it just, they just their brains turn to mush and then they're just like, bleh, die that way. Or, but it seemed like it made them poisonous in a way, like that if they then come into contact with normal people, they're very radiationed bodies, then just instantly killed other people, which I thought was kind of crazy that they survive, but they can kill other people just by breathing the same air or something. So I thought that was wild.
Yeah, it wasn't 100% explained. It was just kind of like, just go with it, kids. Like they're weird mutant freaks that have some kind of infection. But I think this was again, like these people are fighting for their freedom, but they're like being held hostage, but they have some kind of weird disease. So it's kind of a catch-22, I guess, morally for people, right?
One of those like radiation bad. Just straight up radiation bad. And also bad if you're radiated. You're also like, you should just be locked up forever because you can kill people.
Yeah, like you're not a human anymore. You're this dangerous object or whatever.
So radiation's bad, and anyone who gets infected by radiation is bad, and that means we can do whatever we want with them. Although, I gotta say, their digs, not the worst. They had a cafeteria, they had TV, they had like lounge areas, their own rooms. I mean, I gotta say, if I was dying of radiation poisoning, not the worst place to be.
Yeah, I don't think Chernobyl hospitals had those
no,
those
I
kind of
don't
digs.
think so.
Yeah. Yeah, but this one also, like, the reason why I think it's messed up is because first off, you find out that the like rebel leader is the son of the scientist who made the thing, like who made the virus or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
that was rough.
Yeah, and then at the end, the dad has to shoot his son so that he stops him from leaving. So that's fucked up. And then the dad has to like blow up everybody so that nothing comes from, like, he's basically like, there's nothing to live for anymore. Blow up everything. So it's a pretty heavy. And Swamp Thing's just like, thank you for letting me leave before you exploded it. Just walks away.
Yeah, because now I can go off and be sad somewhere else.
Yes, again, be sad. But in the end of this one is there's hope. It's not sadness. He walks home.
You're right. This is the first time when he's like, you know what? Maybe I don't have to be sad. Maybe I can do something about this.
You know what it is? It's because they were family that he's like, you know what? I just remembered I have family in Oregon. I'm going to walk there. So it wasn't for naught. The death of the man and his son and his wife and everybody are important to Swamp Thing, remembering that he has a brother we've never heard of. So he goes to Oregon in the last two issues, 23 and 24, to the main reason, it's not because he loves his brother, it's because he's like, my brother is also a scientist and he'll have lab equipment and maybe he can help me come up with a cure. Now, I thought that was pretty fucking stupid, the cure, because the cure is to recreate the exact same thing that happened to make you this. It's very what was it, like homeopathic remedy or whatever. It's like, oh, you got mercury poisoning? Well, the cure for that is to take a diluted amount of mercury to like the 1/1 millionth of mercury to cure it or whatever. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, except this wasn't even diluted. This was, we're going to do the exact same thing with the exact same stuff. You know, going to set my barn on fire and then throw you in a kiddie pool full of pseudo swamp water.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was one of those things where you have to really suspend disbelief to be like, yeah, okay, that totally sounds like something a scientist would come up with.
Yeah, maybe a 70s scientist. I don't know. Maybe they're different. But
yeah, I mean, who knows?
Yeah, we also get the introduction of like the new bad guys, who is another organization. I don't know if they say what their name is, but I thought they call the bad guys the councilmen. So I'm like, well, they're the council, I guess, instead of the conclave. And then there's like a red and blue guy, and I don't know. It was like, okay. And then they get they hire Saber to go after Swamp Thing, but they also bring, like, Saber's just a dude without a hand, who I think, isn't he
Sword
like
hand?
Yeah, isn't he from like the first 13 issues? Isn't he like one of those people that got...
Yeah, they said he was like one of the guys who originally caught Swamp Thing, but then when Swamp Thing escaped, he lost his hand during the kerfuffle.
Yes, it was in issue 13 when he escapes from the government. Yeah. Yes.
They really pulled a lot of people out of there where it was like, nobody survived. And like, actually, this guy survived. Oh, and that guy survived too. You know, it actually wasn't that big of a deal. A lot of people probably survived.
Yes, yeah. But they all had grudges against Swamp Thing. So.
But they all had grudges against Swamp Thing.
So yeah, but they're like, okay, you're a dude with a sword on your non-hand. And then also, like, here's your number two, and it's this fucking being that we've created, like, that can make earthquakes. He's like, you know, supernatural or whatever, super strong. Thrudvang. I love that name. It's a terrible name, but it's also funny to me.
I would never have known how to pronounce that. I was like, Thrudvang?
Yeah. Right?
So I'm glad you found a really cool way to say it, because, yeah, that sounds pretty boss.
I mean, these are for children, so I can only assume my pronunciation is correct.
I think you did a good job.
They give us Thrudvang. All these seems kind of cheesy and whatnot, but then they throw in this, no, Thrudvang's got a backstory, and it's all sad. It's like, I was a man once who was tested on. It reminded me of, like, Bane, at least from, like, the Batman and Robin movie, where he's like a prisoner that they like inject with the venom or whatever to make him Bane.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of gave him the same sort of story of like test subject turned monster who's also just kind of sad, and very much a mirror to Swamp Thing, I think, except obviously his was an accident, but just the idea that like you were once human, although in his case, I think he lost a lot more of his humanity. But, then he's just kind of given a mission to do, even if he doesn't necessarily want to do it. He's just kind of got to do it because they tell him to.
Of course, Swamp Thing defeats these men, but he's not Swamp Thing anymore. Like we said, he's cured. So he has become Alec Holland, and he finds a rope bridge in the middle of Oregon. I'm like, what? But there's a rope bridge. It's like the end of Temple of Doom. Indiana Jones, where like they're on a rope bridge and he's gonna like get killed by Thrudvang, and then he like cuts it with a knife that he has, and then Thrudvang falls and he lives, and he ends in the arms of his brother's girlfriend.
I don't think she was his girlfriend. She was his assistant. And they never really said that she was like dating him or that he was into her. She was just his hot assistant. So it was really funny that like the first thing he notices when he gets is like, damn, she's hot.
Yes. He's like, who's this lady you got here, brother? Like,
Well, no, because he finds her alone, you know, like he just like walks in the door and she's like, ah. Oh, I loved that little thing of like, she's a modern woman. She doesn't faint. And then she does because he's just so fucking hideous to look at. And so, you know, she faints. And then he's like, oh, she's so pretty. She reminds me of my dead wife. And I'm like, oh, this is definitely going to go somewhere.
that's the first compliment he pays her. You remind me of my dead wife.
Yeah. Not, wow, you look like smart and intelligent. And I'm sorry for scaring you to the point you passed out.
That's not what he was looking at. He wasn't looking at her brains. He was looking at her bod. All right. But that's how it ends. So, like, in my mind, I'm like, how the fuck was this going to continue? Like, it was supposed to. Was he going to get swampified, or there's no way they were going to continue?
It did seem like he was just as sad being human as he was as Swamp Thing. So I'm like, what was the point of curing yourself if you are still going to be like exactly the same amount of depressed, only now you're human?
You know, he still lost his wife and stuff, but, you know, this new woman can definitely try to keep those blues away, you know?
Exactly. So why? I don't know. He just seemed like he was wholly unsatisfied that everything worked and he was getting to be normal and have a normal life again with a new hot chick and, you know, all of his brains intact. And he still looked good. Like
he had a new wife, a better wife.
He was. Yes, exactly. Oh, that's perfect. But like he literally got everything he wanted, and he's still kind of like, oh, I don't know if I can live without being the swamp monster for some reason.
Yeah, and it says like at the end of the episode, it's like next time on Swamp Thing, he's going to be with Hawkman, or maybe versus Hawkman or something. I'm like, what story would that be? And I think in the like collected edition of this, they have like the script for that, because it was canceled, I guess, when they were writing it. So, but I'm like, I don't understand. Like how is this going to continue? Would he then try to recreate it so he becomes Swamp Thing because he realizes like he's less than as Alec and also but depressed as Swamp Thing, so he picks depression, I guess, or I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it was canceled because soon as kids saw that he was Normal Man and not Swamp Thing, they're probably like, well, then why the hell are we reading Swamp Thing anymore if he's just going to be Normal Man? I think that was just a bad idea to end an issue on that and then what was up with the pains? Like
that's what I was thinking. Maybe they're going to come back, like he will be able to transform at will or something.
I think a hint of that might have kept it from being canceled. Like if he looked at his hand and it was starting to grow green or something, then he would have been like, oh no, what does this mean? And then we as the people be like, what does this mean? I want to know more. But instead they're just like, he gets the girl, he should be happy, but he's unsatisfied. And they're like, why do we care about this anymore?
Yeah. Well, I don't think so. The way that comics work, basically 3 issues before, they're like 3 issues ahead in scheduling and in like figuring out if they're going to cancel something. So like they should have known that by issue 21, like sales are down so much that we're probably going to cancel it now. And I think they had moved to it being a bi-monthly comic, or what would that be? Every 2-month comic? I don't know. As well. And so, and they also like, I don't know if you saw the cover of 23 and 24 where it's got like the 70s font for Swamp Thing, like they changed the design.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I hate that. It looks like it should say Swamp Thing with an A.
Swamp Thong?
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, Swamp Thing is this design because it's it looks the weird 3D letters and stuff. I don't know. It's very 70s and stupid looking. So I'm glad they didn't continue with that, but I'm sad it got canceled. But then it came back with volume 2. So, yeah. Anything I missed? Any thoughts you wanted to talk about?
You know, the thing I can't get over when they decided to recreate his how he turned into Swamp Thing, but let's do it again with gusto, and then that would make him human, was that he ends up in a burning building, literally on fire, but then just walks out like, hey, I'm a normal dude and I'm not actually burned by fire. Like, it burned off all his mossiness, and underneath he was a dude the whole time, but he could still get shot and stuff, and it didn't bother. Yeah, I don't know. The visual of that and the way he described it, I was just like, I just don't see it.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I will say some of these scripts are so wacky. Like, I'm sure that was just a line that was like, he's transformed. Like, and the artist had to be like, how the fuck do you show that? Like, in a good way. And I think I actually, everybody talks about the Bernie Wrightson art for the first 13 issues. Or I guess he's only the first 10 issues, but Redondo takes over at issue 11 and goes all the way through the series until the last issue. So I think he did a pretty good job overall, like taking those shoes, stepping into those big shoes of Bernie Wrightson. But yeah, some of those, some of these stories had some crazy shit he had to draw, and I'm like, well, he did his best. So I don't fault him for that.
Yeah, I have no qualms with like the artist rendition of things. I just think that the concept of it, like, yeah, I don't know.
No, I hear you. It's silly. It's not.
Didn't make sense.
I could definitely see why it got canceled by this time. But although I've read, other comics that are from this time that you're like, this is just as good as any of that, and those stayed on for like hundreds of issues. So I don't know. But kids are fickle. Who knows? But maybe it is what you said. Like, he's a human now, so who gives a shit?
I also thought it was really funny that they gave his brother just the smidgest bit of backstory of like when Alec goes into town with the hot assistant, and he's like, oh, this is just like before. My brother would get all the accolades and I get nothing, and now it's happening all over again. It's like, dude, if you were this like salty about your brother and everything he gets, why would you even help him then? Like, it made it seem when he first showed up like, you are my dear brother and I love you so much and of course I'm going to help you. And then as soon as he does, there's like this switch of like, and now I resent you for everything that ever happened in our lifetime, and now it's just going to happen again. I was like, dude, like, what is that like flip-flop of emotions?
Well, that's why I thought the assistant and him had something, or at least he had a crush on the assistant, because that's the only thing that's changed is she's like interested in Alec. And so that's why he's like, the fucking accolades that you got. And he's talking about her, like her attention to him.
Oh, no, I was thinking like how he got like the government contract and, won awards for all his science stuff.
So he's saying like, now it's happening again, but it's just the girl, right?
I mean, I guess maybe he was interpreting it that way. I was more just, curious about why, if he's so butthurt about his brother being always more awesome and better than him.
I mean, I'm a little brother and I understand that. My brother's pretty awesome. So
if some random swamp monster showed up at your house and was like, I am your brother, you'd obviously, with your intense science knowledge that you have, that's almost as good as your brother's, would 100%.
Well, I would definitely be like, let's blow you up again, just like it happened before.
Let's see if it works.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Maybe his plan all along was to just blow him up again and say it was a failed experiment, and then, then be like, oh, shucks, I guess that didn't work.
That's what you do. You have Swamp Thing come back because the brother sabotaged the experiment and he made him worse or something. Like, that's what the pains are. It's like the brother was jealous and did put something in the explosion that...
Yeah, or just miscalculated, or, changed a decimal point or something to just be like, well, I can at least say that I helped, but it'll go wrong. And then...
Well, that's kind of reminiscent of the first appearance of Swamp Thing, right? Where like his lab partner is the one who blows him up. Like he changes the proportions of chemicals. And So it's like that, except this would be his actual brother. I think that would be a lot of more attention. So that's a good bootleg Swamp Thing. Issue 25.
Actually, that's a wait. If his partner was the one who messed up the chemicals, how would Alec know what exactly he did?
He didn't. This wasn't Alec. This was Alex Olson. So it was a different Swamp Thing. And
Oh, the different Alec. Oh, my bad. Because he just got blown up, right?
yeah, he just got blown up. Alec just got blown up by the mobsters. Alex Olson, the first Swamp Thing we see, was his lab partner sabotaged his experiments, and then he got blown up.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
and he
got
stole
them
his wife
mixed up.
one day.
But yes, I think that would have been a great mirror to that of like his brother being like, all this time he's always overshadowed me, and now he comes to me for help. Like, I'm just going to fix everything. Well, I'll fix him.
That's a good idea. I should try to like bootleg issue 25 and 26 with a better launching point for the rest of the series. Maybe I'll do that sometime.
There you go. Add it to the list.
Yeah, exactly. The long, ever-growing list of stuff I do. Yeah, anyway, so normally you ask if I had a favorite cover, which I do. I have an unfavorite cover as well, but we already talked about it. That's the cheeks one.
Yeah, that's right.
The one with the cheeks. That was my least
the
favorite.
flat cheeks.
Yeah. But my favorite cover out of all of these, and some of them are pretty damn good. I like the Robo-Dog one pretty good. I like the Priestess one pretty good. But my favorite one is the one with the demon breaking through the window and strangling Swamp Thing while the preacher behind him is like looking like he's manipulating the devil to do so. So that's my favorite one.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's like very striking. Definitely gets your attention of like, what is that thing?
Did you have a favorite cover?
I did. I actually really enjoyed the doppelganger cover. I thought that one was fun.
That was my number 2. That was close.
My number 2 is the Priestess. So
nice. That's also, I don't know, that one's a good one too.
Very classic, very, evoked that sort of romance novel feel to it, and I do love those kinds of covers, like the classic Fabio covers. So that one had that kind of a feel to it. Obviously with the sauciness of like the zombies. So there's also the horror aspect to that one.
Yeah, there's the zombies, there's like a half-naked priestess, there's Swamp Thing who's scary, and then guys with guns in the back that are fascists or whatever.
Like, there was a lot of really cool stuff happening in that cover. That was my number 2. But number 1, I think I really liked the doppelgangers because they managed to both, like, show that it's definitely Swamp Thing, but also you're not 100% sure which one is the real Swamp Thing. And I liked the idea that it's sort of evoking, like, does he have a twin? Is this like somehow, like, did he split in half, or was a new Swamp Thing created, or is this all in his head? There's like so many ideas that you could take from that cover. And while the one they picked was the best, I still think that cover itself really would like evoke a lot of curiosity and just like, oh, what is this even about? Especially if either you don't know who Swamp Thing is and you're like, why are there 2 weird green guys fighting each other? Or if you do and you're like, what? Another Swamp Thing? I have to find out how this happens. So I think it really checks a lot of boxes as far as being a boss cover.
Yeah. I think that's a good one too. It's just the demon for some reason struck me. So, yeah. Well, with that, that wraps up Volume 1 of Swamp Thing. And, of course, Swamp Talk will return once we start Volume 2 and get through the Martin Pasco run, I believe.
Excited for that.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. And then after that, we get some Alan Moore starting. So that's going to be pretty awesome, too. Can't wait for that. But first, the Martin Pasco run. And with that, I think we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you later.
Bye.